So, Beneath, one of my moderators and good friends, told me you guys like horizontal streams, which I fucking don't know why. Moo! Paps! Paps! The shit are you doing, dude? Eating dog poop? What is wrong with you? Are you that desperate for attention? Jeez. Alright, well, the first thing in the morning, Paps needs to eat a dog turd. I guess it's comparable to eating or drinking a cup of coffee. Anyway, folks, how's it going? Good morning, afternoon. Just waking up. I gotta wake up. I gotta do. All right. Bum 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 bum. Milk, get back inside. Inside. Now. Now. Crazy puppy. These arms. Do do do. Do do. Mwah, you little puppy face. Alright, guys. What's up? It is Maga udders. Chillin'. You folks, this is. These eyes. Do 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 do. Longing to hold you again. What's up, folks? I'm streaming. I lost a subscriber last night or this morning. I don't know. But yeah, I'm kind of at a standing point right now where I'm trying to figure out how to get to that 500, and I'm just doing whatever I can to get to that 500. More importantly, I need to come back to saying what's up to you folks and doing more streams like this where I'm one-on-one. A lot of people don't care for it, but you know what? You are the original people, my original subscribers. I don't care how many people I lose. But good morning, good afternoon, salutations, DiGiorno. Yeah. How y'all doing? And you get this. I have so much. Like, what's up, Pete? How's it going? Good afternoon. Just waking up. It's 12:31 in the afternoon. I'm okay, man. Just, taking it day by day. I guess somebody unsubscribed last night or while I was sleeping. Fortunately. That's alright. It's a struggle, man. It's a freaking struggle, and I'm so close, yet so far. I need like 26 people. But yeah, I just figured I'll do a short little bit of talking stream and say what's up to people, see how they're doing, get to know other subscribers and whatnot. And yeah, dude, it's so painful. Like, it's frustrating because, like, I was doing something for a while, like the talking streams, and that worked for so long, but then, like, I wasn't making any progress for the longest time, so I started doing the gaming streams and the cooking streams, and that made progression, but now it's back to, like, I guess people like it when you talk and do lip singing music videos. I'm noticing the lip singing videos are getting a lot more popular now, which I honestly, I don't care to talk to people that much anymore because I'm just mentally, I'm dealing with so much. But yeah, you got to do what you got to do to push through. And I was just not mentally feeling okay to just show my face, especially going through all this stuff. Mentally, it's not good or healthy. Yeah, man. I'm just exhausted. Mentally, I'm exhausted because I'm dealing with my back, my spine injury, dealing with the workers' comp people, trying to get my treatment, and then also trying to you know, get the case handled with. And then, I have to go out and panhandle, ask people for money. And that's embarrassing in itself, and it takes a toll on me. I'm just exhausted, dude. And I want to go and do my live streams while I panhandle, but that's I wouldn't mind doing it. It's just there's a lot to it that goes into panhandling too. It's not just you know people see me with the camera or my phone and they're like, oh, he's live streaming himself panhandling. I'm not gonna make money from that. Like, I need to survive, and YouTube's not allowing me to get super chats or anything. So like, I have to survive one way or another, so it's mentally draining to have to go out, panhandle, ask people for money to get, the things you need. And this place, I'm I'm not even paying for, like, right now, cuz I don't have any money. I'm waiting for disability. Like, I try to explain that to people, and it's just, uh, you know, what does it matter to them? You're just a stranger. And I have so much faith in God, dude. Like, God takes care of me a lot, dude. And there's times where I'm just like, I'm so stubborn to just try to do it on my own. And He's like, yeah, you could do it on your own because I made it so. No, I'm not gonna get surgery. What they're gonna do first, before they suggest surgery, is they're gonna inject needles in my spine for pain. Basically, it will. The surgery is when they'll cut the nerve that is causing me pain, but the injection is just an injection into your spine or the area where it's like where it hurts the most, and they just numb it. Hey, what's up, sis? How's it going? I'm just talking and just explaining why I just been doing gaming streams and not really talking. I'm just going through so much right now, and kind of felt like sharing that. It's just not well, it's not appropriate, but yeah, I didn't want to lay that on other people, you know. How's it going, Lori? Lola, sis? We got the puppies. That goofy Moo. Hi, Moo. Oh shit. Okay. We got happy puppies. Oh yeah. What's up with your nails, girl? Oh man. I just. Ooh. 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 I know how that feels. Not because I wore nails like the female nails. No, I've had some. My own fingernails got ripped off. Oh. Oh. That hurts. Ooh. That got me distracted real quick. But yeah, dude, I pray to God for you guys. Like I pray so hard for everybody else, dude. Like I want everybody to be safe and happy and whatnot. And I just, I try so hard to make sure that God knows that you guys are out there struggling just as much as I do. And that's kind of why I started making those streams with the games and whatnot, is because it's like I needed a distraction at the same time. I wanted you guys to join with me too. So, but I care about you guys. Like, I don't know. Like, it's just put in me. My passion is people, dude. It's a catch-22 because I don't really care for people. I really don't. But I love them. What are you doing? Huh? What are you up to over there causing all that ruckus? Here comes a bad old Pat. Uh, dude, my fucking insurance guy, dude, he's like, I'm sorry, you couldn't reach me that day. Dude, I haven't been able to reach you in over 2 weeks. I had to call the call center to get any sort of help, and they made the situation even worse. Yeah, I would love for you to fix it, dumbass, but that was like 2 weeks ago, and when the fucking call center, dude, my insurance company is just shit. You had me talking to somebody out in the fucking Philippines or India. I'm sorry, Benit, but dude, I want to talk to somebody here in America, dude. That's in the fucking in Americas. If I'm calling for an insurance company that's supposed to be insuring this fucking country and their drivers, then I need to speak to some like that. That's the fucking thing I don't get, dude. Yeah, dude. No, and I've been telling people the insurance companies are just middleman between you and a lawyer. So why the fuck do we need insurance companies when we could just fucking put a lawyer on layaway, you know? Because that's what it is. You're just basically paying for that attorney fee for them to hold you as a client. Like, dude, if you're in India, right? Wouldn't you feel comfortable if you talk to somebody that's from your country that knows your businesses and your I, I'm just blown away, bro. Like some people call it racist. I don't think so, dude. It's just me wanting to know who the fuck I'm talking to and if they, they if they're does India even have fucking insurance? I gotta ask, Vinny. Cause that's crazy. Like, do they have car insurance and all that, or is it just like, eh? Okay, I just gotta, I gotta ask, dude. If they like, if they're out there telling us, hey, we got insurance, like they better have fucking insurance too, man. Like, oh man, hey, you get what I'm saying, Vinny? Like, it's just batshit. This whole insurance thing, like. Oh, you get house insurance, right? Out here, PG&E, up in the mountains. Oh yeah, dude, right? So out here, PG&E, they're responsible because they're part of the state electrical company, right? They're responsible to clear out any brushes along the electrical lines and anything that's related to PG&E, power, gas, and electric, right? So when wildfires started because they were negligent on their shit, guess who had to pay? The insurance companies. They're like, oh, this is too much for us. We can't pay this. We can't do that. So they just dipped out of the state, took everybody's money, and now you can't get insurance for the Santa Cruz Mountains, which got burned down because of why? PG&E. And then when people try to sue them, the state basically said, no, they're not at fault. It's the people's fault. Well, how are we going to make sure that we don't burn down our forest if you won't even allow us? It's a federal law that you can't do shit like that. Yeah. So, in house insurance, like especially like in LA and Hawaii too. Yeah, the insurance companies are like, "Oh, we'll give you $750 when the fucking the people who buy the land there, the people that aren't even native there, they buy the land for like 5 mil. Like it's not 1 mil. No, it's not 500,000. It's not 1 mil. It's not 2 mil. We're talking about multi-million-dollar acreage, and that and including the house. Exactly. So we need to start like I want to start putting it out there that we need to hold our government responsible for these insurance scams, dude. Like if you want us to have insurance, better make sure that they don't get that monopoly off of us, dude, because they're not representing us and they're just forcing us. Like you could get ticketed, you could get fined for not having insurance. You could even have your vehicle towed away. Yeah, I'm gonna start making sure these insurance. That's what I'm gonna do, dude. Like I'm gonna use God has, used me in many ways, and maybe that's it. Maybe God is telling me that I need to do something about these damn insurance companies. Cause did Jesus need insurance? No, he had God as insurance, right? So why the fuck do we need insurance companies scamming us for money, telling us we need to obey the law and whatnot when they're the ones screwing us over and doing the opposite of obeying the law? Hmm. I mean, for fuck's sake, dude, we're we the like Americans are tired of having to get taxed nickel and dime like we were being taxed by the fucking British like it was 1776 all over again. That's the whole reason why there was a revolution in our country in the first place. We settled in America. No, no, we have to get our own insurance. Like the government doesn't provide us with any sort of insurance besides Medi-Cal, and even then, Medi-Cal turned out, or like the government assisted shit. That's how the Somali fraud began, dude. Like they found ways through our food stamps and welfare system to scam a bunch of fucking people the government money, which is people are like, "Oh, we're not stealing from people." Yes, you fucking are. The government, like the people pay taxes, which goes into a pool of money, which provides, you know, the welfare of every citizen in this country. But it's not going to be the best. It's not going to be like, where you need a heart surgery and you got it on a dime. Yeah, they're making a monopoly off of human sickness and you know deaths and whatnot. These insurance companies need to be investigated, and I think that's mainly what's happening now. Is with the Nick Shirley thing is like he noticed the shit like this is happening where homeless people, American people are on the streets, and then all these immigrants are coming out here and they're living in houses, right? And we're trying to figure out why is the homeless population getting worse instead of reversing, right? So here, and that's the thing is like when you look at it politically, the Democrats have done nothing but pocketed the money that could have gone towards mental asylums and stuff like that. Yeah, we have the same thing, but the problem is when your government officials work with the same dirty people who are doing this. They get some of the money, and most of the time it's a Democrat politician that's gonna be pocketing money and doing anything he can under the table, thinking if he doesn't get caught, then well, no harm, no foul. But really, there is a harm and a foul to that. Hey, what do you think about the whole Iran thing? Like, do you support the Iranian people being free from that damn dictator? Like, Persia needs to be Persia again. I don't think of Iran as Iran. I think of, like, I call Iran Persia because truly Iran was Persia originally. Persian people are beautiful people. Their government, it's just sad, dude. But yeah, like if you think about it, yeah, dude. He was a very evil man, and since he began his dictatorship, dude, you see the pictures of how Iran used to it used to be beautiful. People were very happy. It seemed like people were smiling and women didn't have to fear or wear hijabs or nothing. They were just happy, dude. Yeah, dude, they're cheering because they're tired of this. Much like we were tired of our government doing this stupid shit, dude. We had to investigate Epstein and stuff. And that's why you see a lot of attacks on Trump is because he's unraveling what they've been trying to. Well, Dubai and Saudi Arabia is allies. The UAE is allied with the United States. And that's why they attacked them because Saudi Arabia is actually allied with America besides Israel because the UAE is partial to Muslim Brotherhood and partial to just a bunch of rich people who like America and like their principles and whatnot. Like they're not into the whole death to America thing, you know. And there's prince, there's princes that believe in this, dude, and they like America, you know. That's why it's not just Dubai. That's why they attacked Dubai is because there's people that supported America and in Saudi Arabia because we have trade deals with them. They're not gonna like. That's why they make most of their money is through us, dude, and through their means of the oil. So if we put tariffs or anything on their oil and stop, that would destabilize their whole country. So yeah, yeah, I've heard about those people. See, I like Muslim people. I just don't like the whole ideology of considering others who aren't Muslim, who are white or from Western civilization. In the Quran, it tells you that anyone who doesn't submit to the will of Allah is a dhimmi and should serve you, just like a Jewish man who believes that anyone who's not Jewish is goyim and supposed to serve you and make sure that you're well uh, endowed in life and you're well taken care of because God chose you. I don't believe in that shit, dude. I don't. I don't believe must like so for me my personal opinion, and I might be called a racist or whatever, is Muslims, they marry little kids and fuck them. And then with Jews, there's satanic sectors in the Jewish religion, uh, those who worship Baal at first, and we could go into that a little bit later. But not only that, but and I believe as it is, there's a thing called a doily or a doyle, and a doyle is somebody who circumcised the babies, right? But what has happened, and people I didn't know about it until recently, is that when they circumcise the baby, right? They before they take it off completely, the doyle will use his teeth to rip off the rest of the foreskin off the baby's penis. Now tell me that is not sick. That is fucking grotesque. So to me, both are pedophiles. And both are just sick people. But then again, there are people who don't, in those religions, who don't even know about what's going on. Yeah, well, it says in the Bible, it says that uh, people who will go against you, uh, they will be laid to, uh, they will be slain, and their bodies will cover the ground, right? And only the buzzard, like, no animal will touch them because their bodies are diseased or some shit. And they will the buzzards will feast upon the bodies that lay there because the people that went against God, you know. There's some things I'll go back and review this live stream, and I'll come back to it later on and explain more to you about that, because what's crazy is a lot of what's happening in the Bible is happening today, and it can be interpreted that way. So history has a way of it repeating itself 2,000 years and beyond that. So we've been doing this, like, and the funny thing is that the Jews say, "Oh, we're God's chosen people." No, God even said in the Bible, you guys, you had to wait 40 generations before you could enter the land that God promised you, and even then, it wasn't all the tribes. It was only the Levites, and I think only like three or four of the tribes out of the 13 got to go into the promised land, or not even them. It was their son. Even Moses's. Let's see. It was three generations for Moses and his descendants to enter the. So that's why they were out in the desert for 40 years, because God told them, as they kept on turning away from God and His commandments and doing unsightly things. Perhaps, uh, God is like, you know what? You guys are just fucking foul. Exactly. Like their God, their ideal of God is, like, that's the thing, is Muslims is they just grifted basically off of Jews and Christians, and then created their own thing. Did you know that the Quran wasn't even made until after the fact that Muhammad died? Like, and it wasn't written in five until 500 years after Muhammad died. Tell me that's not crazy. They're like, oh, we're our Bible, our Quran is all perfect. God's word is all perfect, right? But then you tell them, well, in the Quran it tells you to look in the Torah and the Injil. Yeah, it is crazy, dude. So they're like, oh, your Bible's corrupt, and that's that's the thing that's blowing my mind, is because when I hear atheists, people who claim to be atheists, say the same thing, the same talking points as a Muslim, right? Then it got me thinking, these bastards are trying to brainwash people into thinking that they're right, dude. And I noticed their tactics, they'll shout at you and shout you down, right? And then they won't even let you, like, think. That's their tactic, is to gaslight you and play victim when you actually attack them. And then when you actually feel bad for them, they're going to come back and and it says in the Quran, it's okay to lie to non-believers. So how am I going to trust that if a guy's going to come into America, right? If I'm saying a Muslim's going to come into America and he's able to lie, and Allah is telling him it's okay to lie to us, because yeah, like I don't know what kind of God they believe in, but my God doesn't lie. My God will not allow me to lie. In fact, the Bible tells me, if you lie, that is a sin, and that's detestable in His eyes. So you tell me, Is Allah God or is Allah Baal? Because you think about it, the name Allah, the name is derivative to the pagans that in the Bible. The pagans in the Bible are the ones that were making the Asherah poles and all this, right? These pagans were the very same pagans that the Muslims are saying, like the Palestinians and whatnot. They're the ones who made the Talmud, the Jewish Bible, the book from the Jews that they're saying that is, you know, they're placing these things on other religions and faiths to make sure that they get their religion out there more. Yeah. Puppy pooping in the bushes. Boo. Yeah. Like in the Quran, it says if you go to war and you win, right? It's okay if a woman is married to another man and he's still alive, or even if the person slaughtered that woman's husband right in front of her, it's okay to have sex with her and treat her as a slave because she's considered a demi or somebody who was basically one, like a commodity. Yeah, there's nothing but hatred in Islam. Like I got a thing about Catholics and Mormons. Like I love these people. I love the people, but the religion. Like you know what Scientology is? If you look at Mormonism, right? Well, Scientology is a grift off of Mormonism because Mormons believe in aliens and all that shit. Yeah, dude, Buddhism. Well, even then, the Buddhist monks are kind of violently protesting when they're burning themselves. I don't agree to self harm, but you know, they, I guess you do what you got to do, right? And even then, I'm not saying that because of these religions, much like our governments, right? Our faiths and our religions, or our governments, are much alike and the same, but we have to keep them separated. We gotta keep them separated. Anyway, uh, but we gotta keep them separated because shit like this happens. You look at it. Um, the government, you know, they use their positions and power and whatnot, and yeah, dude, I lost my train of thought on that one, but it was a fucking solid thought. I promised you that, Benit. I promise you that, bud. But yeah, dude, like, oh, that's my point. Like, much like every country has a government, right? Every country has their main denomination of faith. And there's the people, and then there's the heads of these things. Like the heads would be the government, and the people that look like head over the citizens, right? Much like a congregation uh to the people who go to the congregations and the religious situations, right? Or religious events. Yeah, and I agree. Like much like if I think a lot of people tend to forget, like, you may be from a different place and I may not like the ideology of your country. I may not like your ideology, but beyond politics, you as a person, I care about you. And that's the thing is like we got people who are very good with manipulating and talking their way into things and being very troublesome, right? Hi, Moo. What you doing, you fat puppy? But yeah, like you look at the Crusades, the Pope had every right to go against Muslims during the Crusades because why? The Muslims were trying to take over the world, much like Hitler did. And I do see a very common thing with the Muslims. They're very Semitic, very uh, very pro, like if you look at Hitler and his ideology, it's very much the same as Muslims. Ah, here we go. Yeah, and that's the thing is our parents have part of our upbringing and how we are raised, right? So like that's another thing. That's a interesting topic. Exactly, it's called morality. It's having the distinction of knowing what is right from wrong. And God implanted that because we know that God implanted that because we know naturally what's right and wrong. So we know. As much as we like to uh, argue with ourselves that what we do wrong is right, in the end, we do deep inside know that what we do is wrong. Unless, you have like a brain injury or something going on. But even then, a mentally handicapped person still knows right from wrong. When they do something bad and they know, like, if they get hurt, they know they've done something bad. That's natural instinct. And when they do something good, they know, like, if they cleaned up their room, their parents or whoever their caretaker is, they tell them, "Good job, you did good. This is how we do things." Yeah, because look what Hitler did with the youth, dude. Like, there were so many people who were just like, they had Jews, right? They had a lot of Jews around. And one day Hitler was like, fuck them Jews. He was like, these assholes are taking money. But that wasn't even the case. It was just Hitler being fucking a sourpuss, right? They're kind of like nuns, but worse. Like, that's the thing about religious sectors and religious things. I am very careful because it seems like a lot of the religious, especially Christianity, dude, uh, or people who call themselves Christians, or groups or denominations, right? They, hey, Ava, how's it going? What do you mean, Vinny, without weapons? I would think with weapons, they are going to be lethal. I mean, they already tell you, hey, we want to make a nuclear bomb. We want one nuclear bomb. Fuck no. Why? Because they've been threatening to bomb who? The U.S. and Israel. We would be stupid to allow them to do that. I'm doing all right, Ava. I'm just I'm doing my live stream without gaming today. I'm just talking to you guys. Uh yeah. Well, I like how is it yeah, it's India and Pakistan, you know. They respect each other enough not to fuck with each other. They have that ceremonial uh yeah. I'm sorry, Vinny. I'm a little lost on that comment. Not gonna lie, bro. I get what you're saying. Like their words are weapons. But like with Iran, because Iran's been like the vocal point of all this Muslim terrorist ideology and whatnot. Uh, this is the reason why they couldn't have bombs. Like you look at Iran or Persia before uh, the Ayatollah and all of them took over the government, right? Beautiful, peaceful people. They didn't even need nuclear bombs. You know why? Because they were peaceful people. All this shit that's happening in the Middle East is due to Islam. Yeah. And people know that it was Islam that was making the cuz Persians were never Muslim in the first place. I don't think so. They had their own religion. I No, the ducks are in my van right now. They just needed a personal space from the dogs. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I get what you're saying, dude. So as a child, they're brainwashed to believe the things that they're really like with Islam. Yeah. How have you been, Ava? How you doing today? So, yeah, with Islam. Well, any religious sector, you know, they have when you're an adult and you have a family within a religious sector, right? You kind of have to conform to their ideology, especially when you're living under their roof. If you don't like it, then you know, especially in Islam families, if you don't like, or they're very much into corporate punishment, you know, corporal punishment, which means like death penalty or very like extreme punishments to ensure that you believe in their like that's Islam. Um, Same with Catholicism. You know, when you're a kid and you're in you know that you're in a monastery school, they don't fuck around. If you don't believe in God and you know you're there, you're forced to be there, right? You live there. They will beat the fuck out of you. And that's the thing is like I grew up hating Christianity only because the people that you know were raising me were Christians and how they treated me made me anti-religious. Oh, these goofballs. But that's what you see nowadays. Yeah. No, I've been drinking a lot more water lately. My chest is congested right now. Yeah. I'm not sick. It's just I've been congested since I was a kid. My nose was bad at first, and then my chest started getting congested. Uh, but yeah, but that's what I was saying is like when I was a kid, and I think a lot of kids deal with this problem is like when they're kids, they often turn away from God because of their parents or because of the religious leader or influence in their life at the time was just not the right person. But I love God so much because he's like, you know what? I understand. Like, it took me all my life. It took me from knowing who he was slowly but surely throughout my life because he appeared. Moo! Don't you dig. Don't you dig. Getting to know him, not because sought him out, but he sought me out when I asked, like, God, if you're real, let me know. And God showed me that he was real. He showed me existence because he knew that I was like he was calling me to him slowly but surely in an impersonal way, which, you know, 2020 is when I got baptized. I genuinely felt okay to be baptized, because God took it upon himself throughout my youth, revealing himself to me, not through other people, but when I asked him, it was just like signs. Because I never really knew much about religion or God. I just thought, all right, there's Jesus and there's God. And, Jesus loves you. And that was about it because that's all you're really taught as a kid when you're going place to place. Yeah. Yeah. And then when I got when that, so a day or two before I got baptized with my godson, um, I was going through a lot, dude. Like, I had an ex girlfriend who was constantly pregnant somehow. Like she was the same size as the last time, 5 years before I saw her. She came into the picture. I was dating a lesbian chick who was still in love with her ex girlfriend, but still doing drugs. It was an interesting kind of relationship. She was cool and everything, but yeah. But and then my truck broke down that I was living in, and it was gonna get towed. I was gonna lose everything. So I said, God, if you're real, show me. And I blacked out, dude. I shit you not. I was looking up in the sky. And I said, if you're real, show me and prove it to me. And sure enough, dude, I was like it felt like as though I was blacking out from dehydration. That's how it was, dude. And I saw Jesus washing the disciples' feet, and I never knew anything about the Bible or what Jesus did, dude. All I knew is that he walked on water, the rainbows and the kid stories that Islam has grifted into their own religion about Jesus. They're just kid stories, what uh, their image of the prophet, uh, as they call him, Jesus the prophet, the all pure prophet, right? But Muhammad, who's Shaitan, who's the devil himself, and Allah even said it. Yeah, I saw Jesus washing the disciples' feet, and as I saw that, I felt the overwhelming presence of release. Like it was as though God said, I now know you. You are my child. Your sins are now forgiven." And the emotion and the power from that itself was so beautiful, dude. It's like nothing I ever felt before. I don't know why I get emotional every time I talk about it, but to this day, it just that feeling every time I talk about it, it's just beautiful. It's beautiful because your whole life you just feel shitty because everyone around you make you feel like you've done something wrong. But then this overwhelming presence comes over you. You don't even know what it is or who it is. It just says, "I love you. Let me take that off of your shoulders. Let me make you perfect. You're beautiful no matter what. And I love you. And I'm taking that trouble off of your shoulders because I died for you. Because I know how much you were in pain and you were suffering." Like, I suffered from the weight of being molested as a child. I held it in so much. I held in the weight of being bullied, going through foster care system, having to fight children so that I don't steal my shit. All that weight I carried inside, nobody knew, which felt okay to me. But in the deepest part of my soul, the deepest part of the ocean of my body, I thought nobody could touch. It was dark in there, and he showed up and he lit the room. He lit my heart. He said, "You don't have to feel that no more. You don't have to feel that no more." And to me, it's so crazy to this day to feel that weight lifted off my shoulders, even though I know the existence of it still exists. It doesn't exist in my heart no more. It's not a part of who I am, but it did create me. That metaphor in the Bible, it says, "You will be purified through the heaviest of fires, the hottest of fires," right? Because of the impurities. Because of the impurities part of you that you grew up with that attached itself. Much like silver, you have to burn it so high. The pressures of life, the things that you go through, that's the fire. That's the burden that we go through, but that's the thing that God told us, that He says, I will never, much like a dad, I will never put you in any position or situation I don't think you can't handle. And He's right. Much like a kid riding the training wheels or riding a bike without training wheels, because you're used to depending on those wheels to keep you stabilized. You think, God, this situation is so hard on me. I can't do this. God's like, no, I'm showing you. I'm okay with you. Like, letting go. I'm be right here. Yeah, dude. I've noticed myself slipping away from religious things and going to gaming and whatnot. Only because, you know, I don't know, honestly. Like, part of it was just to get more subscribers and build more of a community. The other part of it was like, I was noticing not a lot of people responding to my religious stuff. So, but I'm noticing now the shorts that I made that were religious have low numbers. But that's the thing, is like, my religion, my faith tells me never to be ashamed of sharing God. If you start to feel that, then you have to come back. So I appreciate you, Benit. Yeah. Yeah, dude, so true. Like, I truly want to help people because it's like a fire in my heart. It's kind of like what, I feel like God is telling me, hey, you need to do this. You need to start talking to people. Stop resisting. If you want to be a part of my life, don't resist what I offer you. Like, they say, always make the environment around you like the people around you and make the environment around you the ideal of like you're perfect. Like my ideal of perfect is just people respecting each other and helping each other out, being neighborly. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I gotta get going soon, dude, because I gotta meet up with some people. I appreciate you, Benit, because I needed to get realigned back. I was feeling that too. Just been this past week has just been like, dude, you're getting off from God. You're kind of veering off course. You're not far from it, but you are veering off course. And I'm glad you said something last night. Because honestly, you guys mean a lot to me, and I'm gonna hear you guys out. The whole purpose of me doing this YouTube channel was to build a community that's not gonna be bullied by people or their ideology. Everybody just respects each other. Exactly, dude. And me being an adult and seeing the kids that how they act today, you know, if their parents aren't gonna do anything, then who is? The state's not gonna do anything. They're the ones who provoke most of the shit that's happening. Yeah, calf, cranky bastard. That's what happens when you're cranky. Moo took your fucking toy, you cranky bastard. Like, what do you think is going to happen if you teach a kid it's okay to look at porn and do all these crazy shit that the music videos tell you, right? Dude, I grew up in the 90s where their things were just normal, you know, it was new, but it was normalized. Like, oh, we're not going to go and do this, we're not going to do that. But sure enough, dude, look at today's society. The kids that watch the shit that we are the government's feeding us through the media, dude. It's subliminal messaging, and look at what's happening today. You see the music awards and all these people that are fucking satanic. These are the people that are promoting the shit, and you wonder why our kids are doing terroristic shit and shooting up schools and whatnot. It's because of these satanic motherfuckers, dude. Like that, dude. I don't want kids to be growing up like that, dude. Like, why do I want kids to put themselves at harm's way or risk themselves for an ideology that doesn't even care about them, right? Like, why the fuck would I want you to, like, if me being a good Christian, like, well, no, I'm not even gonna call myself a good Christian. I'm just gonna say me being a Christian in general, the ideology is that if you harm a child, the Bible says you'd rather just fucking kill yourself. Basically, in crude terms, that's what it says. But that even goes so much more in the Bible. It says, hold on. For whoever embraces the mind like a child will enter the kingdom of heaven. Right? So children are vital. Like, they teach us. Like, that's the whole beauty of having children in our life is because they teach us, dude. Like, God uses children in the most ridiculous ways where they're either funny or, you're going through shit and you don't think you could do it normally when you're alone, but when you have a kid, you have no other option but to go through the fire and provide for you and that child. It's not for you at that point. So God uses children in so many ways to show you that his love for you is just outstanding, man. And but that goes off the point of what I was saying is like making the environment for children to be okay. Like we have these knucklehead children are just trolling people and then getting hurt or just going online in general. Like children shouldn't be online, generally speaking, if they're not mature enough to handle, acting like an adult. But yeah, dude, I just and like after witnessing a good friend, a kid who used to come by and give me food, and he introduced me to his girlfriend, his mom, his family. Like, dude, this kid was just a very kind kid, and he cared about my well-being. More so, he was much like me. He cared about people more than he cared about himself. And he died because he killed himself. And after 2020, after COVID, and after hearing so many kids and people just killing themselves, I felt so sad. These are human lives that God created, and they're just so deeply disturbed and hurt in their hearts that they didn't think that nobody cared. God cared.